Let's continue the homework video guide on section 5.4, and for this video I will start off with question number 10. And for question number 10, there's a printing company and it charges a fixed rate to set up and it costs $3.50 per 100 copies. Now if 800 copies cost $64, how much will it cost to print 1,500 copies? Okay, so basically I've created a table of values to start off this problem, and on the X side I have number of copies per 100 copies. So if I have 800 copies that cost $64, I can have an 8 on the left hand side, so that 8 represents 800 copies, and this will cost $64. Okay, now it says it costs $3.50 for every 100 copies. Okay, so if I go to 900 copies, then that means I need to add an additional $3.50, and that would be $67.50. Okay, so the question is, how much will it cost to make 1,500 copies? Okay, so basically I need to go down all the way to 1,500, and the question is, how much will that cost? Okay, well, I know the slope is going to be $3.50. Okay, so if you want to do this a simple way, you can ask yourself, well, how do I go from an 8 to a 15? Well, I need to add 7, right? 8 plus 7 is 15. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your $64, all right, and then you're going to add 7 times the slope, all right? So 7 times $3.50, and if you put that into your calculator, you'll get $88.50. So if I want to make 1,500 copies, it's going to cost $88.50. All right, so if you understand how to use the slope and extrapolate ahead, you can easily get the answer that way. Okay, another way that you can get this answer is that if you understand that the slope here is $3.50, then you can also use the equation of a line using point slope intercept form, which is y minus y1 equals to m times x minus x1. Okay, so if you understand that the slope in this question is $3.50, then you can add $3.50 for m, then have your x minus your x1, and have your y minus your y1 on the left hand side. Okay, and what I'll basically do for this problem is I will use this point right here as a coordinate. So this would be my y1 value, and this would be my x1 value. So if I actually had to apply that to this equation here, my new equation would be y minus 64 equals to $3.50 times x minus 8. So that right there is the equation of my line. And for this particular problem, the question is, how much would it cost for 1,500 copies? So this 15 would simply just go in for that x value. Okay, so if I did that, then this would be $3.50 times 15 minus the 8. And then in order to finish this problem off, there's a minus 64 here, right? So if I brought that negative 64 to the other side, it'd become plus 64. And then I would have a y on the left-hand side. And if you went ahead with your calculator and put all of this into your calculator, notice that you get $3.50 times 7 plus the $64, which was basically the same calculation that we did in the first strategy, right? So if you want to think about this question in terms of slope, totally fine. And if you want to think about this in terms of equation, you actually get the exact same calculation, which gives you $88.50. Okay, so that's it for question number 10. Let's move on to question number 13 now. All right, so for question number 13, the total cost of a computer is the sum of the selling price plus a sales tax of 12% plus a $20 disposal fee. Now, for question number 1, I need to express the total cost of the computer as a linear function of the selling price. Okay, so before I do a question like this, we really need to understand how to calculate this sales tax of 12%. So before I do this problem, let's just do a little side calculation over here on the side. Let's say we're buying a TV that costs $100. All right, and then we need to pay a 12% sales tax. All right, so how do I calculate the final price? Well, most students would do something like this. They would take your $100 and they would times it by 12%, which is 0.12, and then they would get $12, which is the amount of the sales tax. And then the final price, students would take the original $100 and then they would add this $12 sales tax. So 100 plus 12 would be $112. So if you wanted to buy a TV that costs $100 plus a 12% sales tax, your final price is $112. Okay, great. Another way of doing this particular problem is that, let's just say the TV was $100. Now, if you wanted to calculate this 12% sales tax and figure out your final cost, what you can do is you can take your $100 and you can multiply by 1.12. Okay, so clearly this 1.2 is the 12% sales tax. And this 1 here, what that really means is you're basically charging like 12% over the original price, all right? So maybe that 1 is kind of like 100%, and that 0.12 is like you're going 12% over 100%. Okay, and basically if you did this calculation, you would also get $112. All right, so this is a very quick way to calculate your final price with the sales tax of 12%. You just take the selling price, which is $100, and you multiply by 1.12, and you get your final price of $112. Using that fact, if I go back to the express the total cost question, I know that the total cost can always be expressed as a linear function, y equals to mx plus b. And now my slope, which is m, that's going to be my sales tax of 12%, which is really 1.12, y, and then the x. And then my y-intercept is basically my $20 disposal fee, which is just 20. Now this is correct, and I would say that the back of the book just replaces the variables. So this y is now a c, the 1.12, and then the x here, we can replace that with s, the selling price, and then plus the 20. So there you go. There is your total cost equation for part A. Now, once you know that, you can easily do question B here. What is the total cost of a computer that sells for $1,540? Well, I know my total cost equation from part A is 1.12 times S plus $20. And basically this 1,540 is the sales price. So C, the total cost would be 1.12, and then I would multiply that by 1,540 plus the $20. And I would just go to your calculator after this, and you'd get $1,744.80. So that is your total cost. Okay, and for part C, what is the selling price of a computer whose total cost was $1,061.60? All right, so going back to part A, my total cost equation is 1.12s plus the $20. Okay, so this $1,061.60 is my C now, so 1061.60 equals to 1.12 with the S, and then plus 20. Okay, and now we just saw this linear equation here for the variable s. You can definitely subtract 20 from both sides. If you subtract 20 from both sides, you get 1041.60 equals to 1.12s. And then you divide both sides by 1.12. And then you'll notice that those will cancel off. And then just go to your calculator here and divide those numbers here, and I believe you get 930 as the original selling price of the computer. Okay, so that's it for question number 13. Let's now move on to question number 15.